I will show you some information about HSM, the history, and though you should know how we work in the past and what are our goals. You see here, it was starting the private house from our owner. Our owner is called Hermann Schwelling. Hermann Schwelling is also the first letters from our company name, HS, Hermann Schwelling. Maschinenbau means factory, yeah? Machine building, yeah. And he started up in his private house, and he produced some various components and supplier for other industrial companies, yeah. So he produced only some parts. And I think a few months later, he think about it's possible to produce my own machine, not only components for other companies. And so he started with producing a baling press. And you see here the first baling press, the green one, is developed, and he produced it in a very small garage, and he welded them by himself and so on. And we have this welding, this press now in our showroom. We bought them back from a company in Austria since her, I think, 65th birthday. And our sales team brought them the old machine back, and he was very happy. Yeah, and I think the customer got a new one for the old one. Yeah. And this is the machine. You will see this machine had the same principle as you have by some new presses now. For example, the KP80 works in the same principle. We have a counterblade here in the front one. It's locked by hand, yeah. And we have only one main cylinder, and the main cylinder moves only the press ram forward and backward. And in the top, on the top is a loading flap. You have to open the flap by hand. The flap is controlled by a switch, of course, that you are not able to press with open door. So it's also the same principle as we have today. But this was the own switch on the machine, yeah? Everything is made by hand. Move the press ram forward, move the press ram backward. In a new machine, you will see more security switches, for example, because the rules and the laws increase for the safety of the machine, yeah? Okay. And then 4 years later or 3 years later, he bought old part of this established plant in Salem. And then this is a new picture from the bird view. This is now the plant 1 in Salem. Your parts are going out. Yeah. And this is the plant now. And this first plant is the biggest plant in Germany. And there we produce today all our parts, all our assemblies, all our cutting rollers, and also the plastic parts for the paper shredders, all the coverings, for example. And there we also produce the PET shredder in this plant. PET shredder is also a big market now in Germany. You know, PET are the plastic bottles, yeah. And in Germany we have a system that we pay for the plastic bottle, pay them, yeah, and then when we bring back the empty bottles, we get money back, yeah. And though we produce more than, I think, 300 units each week, only for the PET shredders, yeah. And I will show you some details when you look on the product portfolio. So then in 1981, he started with production of paper shredders. And you see here the first paper shredder with the name Tempo, yeah? So not under the name and brand of HSM. He bought the name Tempo and produced paper shredder in this label now. And after the unification in Germany, the East and the West Germany, it was in 90, yes, we could bought a plant in the east of Germany. It was an old factory where also were produced baling presses or kind of baling presses. So this company, the old company, and the staffs in this company was very good employed in welding technologies. And then we bought this company after the unification in Germany. So in this company, or in this plant, it's in Reichenbach, it's in the east part of Germany. Now we produce there all our baling presses, our standard baling presses, all V presses, from the V press 504 up to the V press 1160. Yeah? All these parts and all the complete assembly we do in this factory now. Sometimes we produce some assembly parts or assemblies from Salem and deliver them to Reichenbach, because when we have free capacity on this plant, we can move a little bit, yeah. And we have in Salem a big welding rope, for example, and sometimes we have capacity on this welding rope, and then we produce press plates, for example, for the production in Reichenbach, and then we deliver them to Reichenbach, sometimes with paintings and sometimes without paintings, depend on the capacity which we have on this plant. And then in 1996 we established the plant 3 in Frickingen. In Frickingen now we produce all the all the paper shredders. We assemble them. We produce all the parts in Salem, the cutting rollers and also the plastic parts and so on. And then we deliver them with our own truck several times per day. We deliver them to Frickingen, store them in the stock, and then we take the parts from the stock and assemble all the paper shredders in this plant. And now you see also in this plant, but I will give you, you see it here. On this plant, here you see now the new headquarter. We built this building in, I think, 5 years ago. First we planned to build them in Salem, but we got pressure from the private people around the factory, and so Hermann Schwelling decided, okay, then we move with our headquarter to Frickingen. Before the headquarter was in Salem. Yeah? Okay, then some detailed product information. We had a Primo brand launched in 2008. It's an old Primo, and in 2004 sales started for Primo cutting machines. Yeah? And you will see also the cutting machine a little bit later. Then we have, in 2002, we got the certification according to DIN. I think it's not so important, but in Germany and in Europe it's very important to certificate with this DIN certifications. Yeah? Then in 2003 we launched our HSM cutting machines. You see some samples here. Yeah? I'm not sure if you also sell this kind of cutting machines here. Okay, but you have no maintenance on this machine. You sell them and then you forgot it. Yeah? Sometimes, and when some broken, you get it back. So we don't make repairs on site. Yeah? In 2004, we'll have the market launch of our vertical baling presses, the V-Press series. Before the V-Press, we had a vertical range. It's called VL Press. It's the old one. I think in your market, we don't find the old one. Yeah? But in Germany and in Europe, we have a lot of 1,000 presses in the old one. Yeah? And the VL presses, for example, we have a big supply chain. It's called Lidl, yeah? Supermarket chain, Lidl. And I think we have more than 3,000, 4,000 presses in their shops. Yeah? And now our technician have to know something about the old technician and the old operation manuals and so on, and also the new one now. Yeah? And it's a little bit critical, because some of these machines are older than 20 years. Yeah? And they go on site, the young technicians go on site and say, oh, what's this kind of machine? I never saw this machine. Yeah? And so you should have also the spare parts. And that, I think this is one of the HSM advantage, that we can produce all the old spare parts for a long time. Yeah? Sometimes we have a problem when we have to buy some special parts, for example, some electrical parts or some hydraulic parts, that our suppliers say, okay, no, we haven't some parts on stock. But the parts which we produce by ourselves, yeah, we can deliver for a long time. And customer very often are very surprised and say, oh, the machine is now 25 years old and you can deliver us spare parts? Yes, we can. Yeah? And I think it's a very good advantage from HSM, because we, and you saw the plant, and I will give you some impressions of the plant a little bit later. We have a production team, I think more than 80%. Yeah? So we produce the most parts which you find on a machine by ourselves. Only some special parts, hydraulic hoses, for example, hydraulic components, and some electric components we have to buy. Yeah? But the other ones we produce. Yeah? Yeah? Then you know the Shred Star range. I think that's the most important product part here in America. You should know that we don't produce the ShredStar products. We buy them from our partner in China. Yeah? So it's only the entrance level in the shredder market, but we need them for complete the whole range. Yeah? And we are not able to produce such cheap products in our factory, so we have to buy them from China. I think we are not so happy about that, yeah, because we want to produce the product only by ourselves. But you can answer them. We need such low price products here in the market, yeah. Yes. And I think we should find the idea how it's possible that we also produce some entrance level products, but it's not so easy. I think so, yeah. Then we have a very good year in 2005 and 2006. In Germany was established a new law. I told you all plastic bottles we have to pay for all plastic bottles when we buy the bottles, the full bottles, and then we can bring them back, or we have to bring them back in the stores and get back the money. And in this year we increased our turnover once a year over 100 million euro. Now we are approx by 88 million, yeah. And this was the very successful year in by HSM, because we have to produce internal 1 year more than I think 6,000 or 10,000 units from the plastic shredders or from the PET shredders, and we deliver them to a partner. It's called Tomra. It's a company located in Norway. And they produce all the machines, look like a freezer. You can put in the empty bottle in a small hole, and they are collected the weight and the form and also the labels. And then they accept the bottle, yeah, and then bring the bottle back in the machine, and then you hear only the HSM crusher, yeah, but you see no parts of the HSM crusher. And then you get a bill, each bottle 25 cents. Back, yeah, and then you go to the cash, you can get the money directly. Yeah, I thought it was a very successful year. Yeah, the next year we launched the security line. You know all the products. I will show you some overviews, but I think this is very close to you. You know all the Securio and all the classic products. Mm-hmm. I think it's your basic business. Yeah, okay. I saw that HSM have one of this part, the digital shredder. Yeah, I think it was a product for destroyed data on the hard drive. Yeah, but it was a very expensive unit. I think it cost more than 9,000 euro. I'm not sure exactly. You have one, and I think the next one we have in Germany in our stock. It was not so successful because it was very expensive machine. Yeah, but the goal was to destroy all the data, but don't destroy the hard drive. Yeah, so you could be sure that all the data are destroyed. Yeah, they were overwritten with O and 1 and so on, and several times was overwritten. And normally when you only delete data, you know that you only delete part, but the data are still on the hard drive. And this machine print out, I think it could print out a certification that the hard drive was totally empty. And then the hard drive was able to work again. Yeah? And now we have a new machine. Yeah? We'll come later to them. Okay, first we come to the machine. Now we have a new machine where it's possible to destroy the whole hard drive, yeah, in small pieces. Yeah, and then you can also be sure that all the data are destroyed, but the unit is also destroyed, yeah? And it's not possible to use them once again, yeah, to fix all the parts together. Because I think it's a development. The hard drive prices developed, decreased year by year, and it's so that it makes more sense to destroy them before you want to put it in the other device and wait 2 hours. I think it took 2 hours for destroy all the data. And this one we can see here in the showroom. We have one unit, and we have also some old hard drives, and then we can see it needs only a few seconds. Yeah. So this is a new product now. We have this product in two versions, in one single version, yeah, as we have here, and in the double version, so we have two cutting units in this version, and means with a single part we produce a security level called H4. I will show you some details over the security levels, and with a double unit we can destroy them with a higher security level with H5. Yeah? And though I think you can be sure that nobody is able to fix them again. Yeah? But the disk or the hard drive is destroyed. Okay. Then we have another certification according to the Environment Management System in 2008. And then I told you that we moved to with our headquarter to Frickingen in 2009, and this is our new building. And this building, I'm working there, and also Hermann Schwelling, that's are the most important people. Yeah? And a lot of other people, yeah? The sales department and also the purchasing department and the marketing department and the customer service also, all are placed there. And there's a new building, and now the building is totally full. When you want to expand, then we have to stock up or build a new one. Yeah. Okay. Then we bought a company called Pyhler. Pyhler was a special company also located in Germany. Pyhler was focused on special products made in stainless steel. Yeah? For example, for dewatering some labels, for example, when you see by refill companies, when glass bottles can be refilled, they washed up the labels when the empty bottles come in the company. They wash up and clean the bottle, yeah, and the wet labels come in this machine and could be pressed out, yeah. So we have the water, the clean water or the cleaning water, which is used once again, yeah. It's cleaning and can be used again, and then we have the out-pressed labels, and it's only paper then, yeah. And this machine is specialized for such breweries, for example, and so we can have a special market. And we took over the company because the Pyhler company was going insolvent, yeah. And so we took over the company and called them now Pyhler HSM. And now the actually information is now we have only HSM. We canceled Pyhler and we moved production from Bergneustadt, is in the middle of Germany. We closed this plant, yeah, totally, and took over some employees, yeah. And then we moved the production to Reichenbach. So we are able in Reichenbach to produce them our V-presses in normal steel, and now we have a second unit for production with stainless steel machines. Yeah, it's a totally new area in our production. Last year we launched a new Primo line. I'm not sure if you sell also Primo here in America. No, so not so important for you, but some words to the machine. Primo was in the past Primo only a special label. It was the same machine, the same optic, the same covering, but only the Primo line and the Primo label was different. Yeah? And so we could sell them in foreign markets. Yeah? So we have no competition with HSM. So we have HSM and we have Primo. Yeah? And now we decided that we get a complete own design by Primo. You see here the plastic parts we own or we special designed for Primo. We produce them, you know, by ourselves. So we need special molds for producing these plastic parts. But under the covering, it's the same technology. Yeah. So the same cutting units, the same electronic and so on. But only the view outside is different, and also the Primo logo is now with a blue I or blue E. Yeah, before it was a red E, and so it's a little bit different now. Yeah, and this product is only for foreign markets. Yeah. Okay, some organization. I think I will not waste a lot of time. You see here the plant one in Salem is a huge area with 50,000. Square meters and also 15,000 square meters production hall. So we produce here everything, every parts, every cutting rollers, every metal sheets, every assembly parts and so on. We have the painting department there. And also, I told you, the assembly for the big balers. Yeah? The big balers, when I say big balers, then we have general balings with a pressing force of 150 tons. Yeah? So, for example, our KP80 have only 8 tons. Yeah? And so we produce big balers. I think you will see some pictures a little bit later. Yeah? So we have the technology CNC laser cutting. So we produce, or we can cut from sheets with a dimension of 25 millimeters. We can cut them with a laser, and you see it works as we have a hot knife and a butter. Yeah? And we cut 24 or 25 millimeter sheets. Yeah? It works very easy. Then we have the CNC turning centers for the cutting rollers. Yeah? We have the CNC milling machines for some special parts which we have to produce for the baling presses, so we can mill them. I will show you also some parts. And so we have also CNC welding robots. Yeah? So we can make the welding assemblies with a robot. We have to fix them, the units by hand with a hand welder, yeah? Or stuff to weld them by hand, make only some points. Yeah? And then we can fix the whole, for example, press chamber with a maximum weight of 8 tons on the welding rope as a welding table is turnable, for example. And then the welding rope can finish the welding lines. I think they need more than 1 day for finish all the welding lines. Yeah? And the welding lines, all point of the welding rope have to be programmed, yeah? Or have to teach on the machine. So we only bring this welding parts on the rope which we have more than 1 per month. Yeah? The special parts which we have only, I think, 1 or 2 in a year. It makes no sense to make the program for the welding rope. Yeah? These parts we do by hand. Yeah? Okay, here Reichenbach is a new plant in east of Germany, although big area, and there we have space enough to increase, and we can build a lot of plants additionally. And also you see we did a lot of things here. It was a private house that's not there any longer. We put them away, and there we will build a new plant now. And though we have a huge area for increase in future. Yeah? And here we have the same technology, some a little bit older. Sometimes we moved a welding rope, for example, our old welding rope from Salem to Reichenbach, but it worked there also very good. Yeah? So we invest some new parts, and sometimes we move older one, smaller one with smaller capacity, we move them to Reichenbach, but they also invest in totally new technology. So they are very good, I think, equipped in this factory. Yeah? So this Frickingen was also planned. We bought them complete in this area, and here we have our stock for the machines, for the finished machines, only for paper shredder, no presses. And then we have also here our showroom, our academy training center is located there, and also we have the development department for paper shredder is also located here, very close to the factory. Yeah? So they can go very quick and look on the lines how it works, what they developed. Yeah? Okay, and then also in the headquarters we have the business area, central administration, and so on. I told you. Yeah, so we can imagine that the whole company is now located there, and some special, I think, departments are very close to the factory. Yeah. Okay, our organization, you know, we are here now in our one subsidiary. I'm not sure, it's not the biggest one. I think UK is a little bit bigger, yeah? And it's not the oldest one. I'm not sure when we established the subsidiary here in America.
I want to say it was in the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Early to mid 90s.
Okay. So see here, our subsidiaries, one is here in America, one subsidiary we have in the UK, and one in Polska. Polska is a very successful subsidiary because Polska is a very good market. It increased very fast, and though it's make fun to look how our subsidiary increased in Polska. And we have one in France, and now we are planning one subsidiary also in Spain. Yeah? And we have sales office in Netherlands, actually in Spain, and in future we will there have a subsidiary, and also in Italy. Yeah? Yeah, service network, a little bit different, I think, as we have here. So we have more than 26 now. I think it's 28 now. We increased a little bit. Technicians in the German market. They are located in several locations in Germany, from north to south, from east to west. They have their own service car there, big cars, small vans, VW, I think T5. I'm not sure if you know this kind of, with 3 tons. So they can, they have a lot of spare parts in this car, and also a lot of tools which we need when we have to replace some parts. They have also every time one crane in the car, and I think it's only possible when you have a big car. Yeah? And they are, I think their car is on their in their private garage, and they start every morning from their private address to the customer, or they have to stay in hotels sometimes also. Yeah? Yeah, and we have also worldwide engineers, for example in France, in UK, France, Italy, Spain, Poland and Netherlands, and also, of course, here in the USA. As well as we have partners in over 100 countries worldwide. Yeah? And that is one of my job, to train all these partners and all these guys, that we can be sure that our partner are also good skilled when we need their help on site. Yeah? And though it's one of my job to train them, very often they come to Germany, and sometimes I have to change to go on site. Yeah? It's also very interesting for me. Yeah? The service network, some things about me. I was the head of the service department for about 8 years. So I have some more experience in such cases which happens on site and what we have to do on site. Yeah? So I can talk from the practice side. Yeah? Okay, some facts and some figures. Yeah, ISO certification, I thought is not so important. Employees, we have approx 800 or sometimes 750. It changed something when I called our departments, or how many employees can I print in the presentation. Sometimes I hear 750 and others I hear 800. So it changed sometimes, but approx between 750 and 800 we have employed all over the world, not only in Germany. Yeah? Export share approx 63. Sometimes I heard the number of 70%. So the most of our machines we sell in foreign market, not only in Germany. Yeah? And though we have the 3 product ranges, the shredder market, so we call them office technology. We have approx 40% turnover. And then the environmental technology, approx all the 38. And then the next big group is the mark of the PET shredder. We call them crusher. Yeah? Because we don't shred them in pieces, we only crush the bottle and flat them, and then we sometimes we are being developing in crusher or in shredder. So sometimes, for example, in the Japanese market, they want to shred the PET bottle in small pieces. Yeah? And in German and in other countries, we only want to flatten the bottle. Yeah? So we want to reduce the volume and want to make sure that you only get once the 25 cents, not twice. Yeah? In the beginning, there were some people who test the machine, how it's possible to get more money. So they put a bottle with a line and put them in the machine and pull them out directly, and test how often I can make money with one bottle. Yeah? But I think the technological system increased, and now it's not possible to get more than 1 times 25 cents in the market. Okay, investment. Okay, Hermann Schwelling is a man who don't want to bring the pocket in his own, or the money in his own pocket. He reinvests a lot of turnover in the company, so we can be sure that our company and our equipment in the company is on a very modern state. And Hermann is happy when he see that the company works and he have only one car, and I think his car is now 5 years old. Yeah, it's a good car, but I think he is normal man. He don't want to get rich. Yeah, he want to invest the money in his company, and I think he is happy when he see the company increase. Yeah, so we make an invest every year from our turnover, and also the employees get some money from our turnover. When we make a profit, we get also a little bit from this profit. Not so much as we want, but a little bit. Yeah. Okay, and then we use of raw material. You see, 8,500 tons steel each year, approx. I think so, and also 500 tons plastic granulate. Yeah, I think it's a huge part. This is only a map. You see the points which I talk about. And here are some impressions from our HSM company. You see here the lating center. You see you see 14 CNC production turning centers, turning or lating centers. Here we produce all the cutting rollers from long metal bars. You see here we have metal bars 3 meter long, and we can put in these bars in the magazine of the machines, and we can bring bars up to a dimension of 65 millimeters in these magazines. And when we have to turn cutting rollers with bigger dimensions, we need fixed lengths of the raw material. And after the lating or the turning part, we have to make hardening process. So we bring the cutting rollers, the late cutting rollers in the hardening department. I'm not sure if in the next picture we will see a picture of the hardening department. Yeah. The next step, first steps you can imagine. The first step is cutting or lating. Then the next step is hardening, and the third step is grinding grooves internal when we need, for example, a cutting roller for particle cut. When we only need rollers for a strip cut, we don't have to grind the grooves. Then we have only lating and hardening, and then the cutting rollers finish. But when you have to grind grooves, for example, then we have to, when we want to cut a particle, then we have to grind the grooves. But I will show you some detailed pictures. So here we have the milling machine, and actually we are investing in a huge new milling machine for Salem. I think it will be a very modern machine, and this machine is not so old. You see, you can bring parts internal up to 4 meter length, so very huge parts for milling the surface, for example. We need them, for example, when we have to replace the big cylinders in the big general baling presses. So the surface where the cylinder is connected have to be very, very, very clear. Yeah? And so we milled all the surface where we connected all the point, yeah, and some other parts also. Yeah? And this machine we will move then to Reichenbach. Yeah? I thought when we invest new one, we bring the old machines to Reichenbach. But this is also not very old. You see the machine looks also brand new. I think the machine is not older than, I think, 10 years. Yeah? So it works very good. Yeah? But the capacity is then lower than a new one. Yeah? So here's a groove grinding machine. You see that we need when we want to cut particle, then we have to grind the grooves. Yeah? And the grooves, or the number of grooves and the distance from one groove to the other groove, is important for the length of the particle. You know this system. The width of the lating is for the width of the particle, and the distance from one groove to the other groove is important for the length of the particle. So you know that we produce, also for the American market, we produce cutting rollers with a particle size of 1 by 5 millimeters. Yeah, it's the code level 7, very important for the NSA here. Yeah? And this means that all grooves have a distance from 5 millimeters. Yeah? Okay, here you see the machine for grinding this grooves. You see here the disc, and the machine is able to change the disc by themselves. So when you fix, for example, this one here, this cutting roller, and then this disc started automatically for grinding the grooves. Yeah, they grind 5 grooves, and then they go back to reform the disc. Yeah, and then come once again and grind the next 5 grooves. And we grind the grooves after the hardening process. Yeah? So we make the surface hard before, and then we grind in the hard material. So we can be sure that the tools are very sharp. Yeah? But bigger units, for example, by the cutting rollers for PET crusher, we do it in another way. We grind first the groove in the soft material, soft, not soft, and then we make the hardening process. So it's easier for grind with low capacity or low energy. Yeah? And by the, I think by the PET cutting roller, it's not so important that the tools are so very sharp. So we can do it in a other way. Yeah? Here's an old machine for make the hardening, but this machine is only for show the process to our customer. So we will stay with this machine, I think, because here you can see directly when you stay in front how it works. There you see we fix the cutting roller on the machine. Then we have the electric, it's called induction part, yeah, induction spools. And then you see that they move from the bottom up to the top of the roller. You see it got hard, 800 degrees or 830 degrees, and we cool them down directly. Yeah? And so we make the hardening process from outside to inside approx, depend on the roller, up to 5 millimeters, not deeper. So we have a hard outside and soft inside, because the cutting roller should be flexible. Yeah? And when we make it totally hard, then the risk increased that the cutting will break. Yeah? So we only make 5 millimeter in the material. Yeah? And after the hardening process, I'm not sure if we have now, after the hardening process, we bring the cutting rollers in even once again, and then we heat them up to even up to 200 degrees and hold the temperature for approx 1 or 2 hours, I'm not sure exactly, and then we cool them down very slowly. So we reduce the tension in the material. Yeah? And so the cutting rollers are straight. Yeah? Okay, we can only hard material or cutting rollers up to 65 millimeter, and when we have bigger one, we have to bring them outside to a special company. Yeah? But I think we will do it also in future by ourselves. But in the moment, we only can hard dimensions up to 65 millimeters. Here is the impression of the apprentices workshop. So we have more than 70, 80 apprentices in our company. They have to train several parts, for example, economy or technical work. And they have to train, I have to learn in our company 3 years exactly. So we split the training several times in the company and some days per week in school. Yeah, so they learn handouts and also theoretical parts. And here you see they have to train on old machines, so they have to train how it works when I drill a hole in a piece of iron. Yeah? And these are old machines, I think, also coming from our own plants. So they train very often. First they have to learn by hand, then they drill with old machines, and they have also lathing machines and also drilling machines and grinding machines. And after them, when they have learned the basics, yeah, and they know how the material reacts when I drill too fast, for example, and it's overheat the material, so then they should be able to make programs for the CNC machine. So you see here that we have a very modern CNC machine also in the apprentices department, and they program special programs for produce some parts. And these parts we don't produce only for the waste container. We need the parts sometimes also in the factory when we only need some small parts or some small series. And they also produce parts for our development department, yeah, for test some things. Yeah? And so it's very helpful for us to have such a small unit, a very flexible unit. Yeah? And so it's very good there. Here you see our plastics processing. So you see outside of our factory we have big silos, 6 silos with a capacity of 55 cubic meter, and though we store the raw material outside, and then we can bring the material inside to the plastic mold machines. And here you see the plastic mold processing or the department. For the bird view, you see we have 6 injection mold machines, from a small one up to a big one. And the big one, for example, I'm not sure if you have here some features from the machine. Yeah, I think the plastic forms have, for example, 3.5 tons. But I think it's very impressive to hear that the machine closed the mold via a 4 hydraulic cylinder. And I told you in the beginning that we have the biggest press with a pressure of 150 tons. And this machine have a pressure of 680 tons. Yeah, only for closing the mold. Yeah? So we have short cylinders, 4 big cylinders, and we have only opened the cylinder, yeah, or opened the mold, yeah, for take out the part, and then the cylinders have to close them with a force of 680 tons. And then we bring in the hot plastic via a snake, yeah, into the mold with a pressure of 1,580 bars. Yeah, so it's a very high pressure there, but it is necessary that you can be sure that all the material come on each place in the mold. Yeah, it goes so fixed. Yeah, they close and then the hot material come in. Yeah, and then they have to cool down. The material come in with a temperature of more than 300 degrees, and then they have cool down in the mold. So there are a lot of tubes with cold water, and then I think internal few seconds by small parts or 2 minutes by bigger parts, the part is ready. Yeah, it's very impressive. Yeah. So here is the laser. I told you that we have 2 kinds of raw material. The one part is the round bars, for example, for produce the cutting rollers, and the next raw material, big raw material sort, is the metal sheets from 1 millimeter up to 25 millimeters. We can produce only with 25. When we need thicker material for some big presses, we have to buy fixed part from outside, from a company who can cut them with a burn system. Yeah? And here we are able to produce all these strippers, for example. These are strippers for the PT crusher, for example, but also we produce the strippers for the paper shredders. The small strippers, the millimeter strippers by, for example, by H5 unit, we buy also from outside because they are stamped, yeah? And we are not able to stamp them. Yeah? So after laser cutting, we bring the parts to a bending machine sometimes for make some special forms. Everything which you can bend, we don't have to weld them, yeah? But sometimes we have to weld, and here you see the welding rod. For example, this is a press channel for a special machine for the Lidl market, and so we produce this machine, I think 3 each week, and so it makes sense to program the welding rod of this machine. And so you see the machine is fixed, yeah, with only welding points from the worker, and then we fix the whole press chamber on the welding table, and then the table can turn, and also the welding head can turn, so the welding rod is able to reach each point in the machine. Yeah, it's very impressive when you see how fast it welds. And this welding rod don't need a break, can work 24 hours. Yeah, and so it's very, yeah, I think very good for HSM. Yeah. That's now the production line. You see here in this line we produce all the baler, the big balers, and you see every baler is different. Yeah, we produce or assembled only baler when we sold them. Yeah, we are not able to produce some of this baler in the stock because every bale, every VK press is different, and some details in hydraulic power or in some additional parts, the hopper is different and so on. And so you see also the color is different. Some customers want to have a green or a blue one, for example. The gray one you see here on the right hand side is our basic color, but when a customer wants to have it in red, we are also able to paint them in red. Yeah? Some customers want to have all machines in the factory in the same color, and they decided some years ago that all machines are in red, for example, and so we have to also produce the machine in the same color. Yeah, and so we are able to do it. It's a little bit complicated because when we need a spare part for this machine, and then we have to ask in which color do you need the spare part. Yeah, but you see sometimes the basic components are in a basic color, so we don't make the red cylinder, for example. This is a spare part, and the cylinder are always in the same color. And so you have, for example, a red machine with a gray cylinder. Yeah, okay. But when the customer, I think, when the customer make pressure to get the cylinder in red, we would also paint them in red. Yeah. Okay, these are one of the big machines. You see here the channel baling presses, for example. Here we have a VK88. And we will see that the principle of these big VKs, for example, is the same principle as we see here, but a small one. Yeah, we have a channel baling, or we have a channel in the front of them. In the channel, every time is material, and we have a hydraulic unit in the front of the channel who reduce the cross section of the channel, and this is the principle of the channel baling presses. And sometimes it's only different sizes of the channel. For example, the big size or the biggest size of the channel which we have is 1 meter 10 by 1 meter 10. And the length is variable. Yeah, you can adjust the length. Yeah, but 1 meter 10 by 1 meter 10 is the biggest one. And this one have, for example, in the wide 1 meter 10 also, but only 75 millimeters in the height. Yeah. So it makes sense. This dimension is important for, I think, the Europe trucks, because we have trucks with a dimension of 2 meter 40, and it makes sense 1 meter 10 with a little bit tolerance. 2 bales are 2 meter 20, and 2 meter 40 is the lorry, so it fits very good in the trucks. And the trucks is also high, 2 meter 40, and so 2 bales are also 220, and a little bit space and a little bit tolerance, so we can fix very good this kind of dimension of the bale in a lorry or in a truck. And so it makes sense, and this is the goal by pressing compacting material, that we fulfill the trucks with the most possible weight. Yeah? So in Germany, I think also in Europe, it's allowed to transport 24 tons with a truck, and so we can fulfill the 25 tons with our bale. Yeah? When the bale is too light, then we fulfill the lorry with material, but we only have 20 tons on the truck, and so we increase the transport cost each ton. And the customer is very interested that he reduce the transport cost, and so he say, okay, produce a bale or compacted material so that I can bring 20 ton or 24 tons with your bales on my truck. Yeah, and that's the most goal by the big balers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here you see when we have to ship the baler, we need a special truck, and also we need special motor cranes or truck cranes. And so we deliver the machines internal Europe by trucks. And I think when we want to deliver the first one from this big baler to America, we have to bring them in containers. Yeah. So mostly we try to deliver the machine in one piece. Yeah. With hydraulic tank, for example, with the complete channel. And when it's possible, then we do it in one piece. And sometimes we have to split, for example, the machine in a channel and also in the main machine. And sometimes it's also necessary that we disconnect the hydraulic tank and so on. But our goal is to deliver the machine when it's possible in one piece. So our technician on site have only to move the machine on place and can start with operating or start with working very soon. Yeah. Okay, here you see all the big machines. You see all the special crane, flat load crane truck, for example. Yeah, So sometimes you need special trucks. It's not the normal truck with its flat bottom or the low bottom. And here you see that's also necessary that we have some crane in our plant for lift the machine on the truck, and also we need a crane on customer side to put out or put the machine from the truck, and then we move them with big rollers, for example, in the plant. Yeah. So it's a little bit critical. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we have the problem that we have the big rollers, for example, and then we have asphalt, and when it's warm, the rollers go deep in the asphalt, and it's not possible to move them. Yeah, so we have to plan when we can install the machine very early in the morning when the temperature is low. Yeah, because when we have more than 30 degrees outside, the asphalt gets wet, get soft. Yeah, you know it, and then it's not possible to move the machine. Yeah. And when you have, for example, 40-ton machines in the asphalt, 10 millimeter deeper as normal, then it makes fun. Yeah. Okay, this was a little bit impression from HSM.
Driven by nature's power, mankind utilizes natural resources and valuable materials every day. And it is everyone's duty to protect and recycle valuable raw materials. At HSM, we are constantly looking for ways to recycle and reuse valuable raw materials. Full of pioneering spirit, Hermann Schwelling started the family business of HSM in 1971. He began to develop products for data security in offices while consistently pursuing his ideas of how to return valuable materials to the recycling chain. Our company is located near idyllic Lake Constance in the south of Germany. Here, between apple blossom time and harvest, we are surrounded by nature and environmental issues. We want to demonstrate responsibility so that there is a future tomorrow. Our qualified employees contribute to our success. Comprehensive hands-on training is provided to our apprentices and trainees throughout the company in all departments. More than 80% of our apprentices and trainees stay with HSM after the end of their training period. We are proud of this. Economic and ecologic aspects of business are important to us. Optimum utilization of truck capacity, reduction of disposal costs or optimized use of machines, as well as the recycling of scrap material and the recirculation of cooling lubricants in the production plants are just some of the ways we take sustainability seriously. This is the foundation for production in our factories in Salem, Reichenbach and Frickingen. Here we develop, produce, and distribute office and environment technology products. With innovative technical high-performance CNC-controlled machines and CNC laser cutting systems, we ensure high-quality products. For example, top-quality cutting rollers are created, hardened and tested to exacting measurements before being used, starting with production all the way through to delivery. Our manufacturing process enlists a high level of quality control. From a single source made in Germany. Our baling presses reduce volume by up to 95% and, with unmixed bales, regain secondary raw material which becomes part of the recycling chain. All our environmental technology products have one objective: ecological and economical handling of valuable materials. This is important to us. The proof of our success is evident to more and more customers all over the world. Reliability, responsibility, and quality make the difference. And in all modesty, we are proud of it. By the way, when it comes to security, shredding, cutting, disposing of data. We provide a comprehensive product family for offices. Our products are tailored for any situation, whether for home offices, professional offices, complete departments or professional document shredding centers. The only thing that is always consistent is the first-class quality of our equipment made by HSM. Data abuse and spying can be stopped by using our document shredders. Easy handling and a large variety of operating functions are available. Many of our document shredders have a lifetime warranty on the 100% steel cutting rollers. Our stylish design speaks for itself. What else do we have to offer? Great customer service. We help you select the right product, design complete systems, and provide training for your employees at the HSM Academy. Rely on HSM quality, flexibility and service. Meet great products, great people.